working to connect a region of over 600 more bridges between our lands.
Hello, I'm Alma Angeles, and we're moving to the next stage of the pandemic. And as the world resets to the new normal, we find ourselves seeking the right balance between health and livelihood, constantly adjusting the boundaries between liberty and responsibility. Welcome to ASEAN in Focus. First, we are happy to welcome here with us is Welfare Officer of OWA Malaysia, Madam Leonor Mabagal. Good afternoon from Manila, Madam.
Good afternoon din po.
Ayan.
At lalo na sa mga tagapagsubaybay ng programa ninyo po sa TV.
Maraming salamat po, Madam, at kayo pinaunlakan niyo po yung aming imbitasyon sa inyo. Siyempre po, kukumustahin po namin, Madam, yung welfare po ng ating mga Filipino migrant workers there at pati na rin po ng ating Filipino community sa Malaysia.
Unang-una po, simula mag-umpisa ang movement control order dito sa Malaysia dahil sa COVID-19 pandemic. Patuloy ang ang pagserbisyo natin po kahit nasa kami work from home arrangement. So nakapagbigay ng mga ayuda ang OWA through the help of the Federation of Filipino Associations. At napakaraming mga grupo din po na nagbibigay kalinga. It's not only the government, pero ang daming mga Filipino groups, association na nagbibigay ng food assistance. Pero ito lang namin linuwagin na itong during the itong sa loob ng MCO po, hindi nagkulang ang mga employers sa pagbibigay ng free accommodation, free food, at saka allowance sa ating mga overseas Filipino workers, lalo na sa mga Filipinos. Kung meron mang naka-encounter ng mga problema, baka hindi yun sila po, baka ito yun ang mga irregular workers. Pero but then, ang mga ayuda na binibigay natin po, lalo na itong sa loob ng MCO, ay hindi tayo namimili po. Pagpalagay ko, 90% sa recipient yung mga yung mga irregular workers po. Dahil Filipino din sila po. So, ang gobyerno ay nandyan din para sa kanila po.
Kumusta naman
so, patuloy,
po? Yes po, sige po.
Nagbibigay din tayo po ng mga patuloy ang pagbibigay natin ng counseling, guidance sa ating mga OFWs na sa loob ng MCO. Gusto nilang umuwi. May mga na-depress, no? Pero alam naman natin na may restriction sa movement ng lahat. So, pero as of starting May 4, tinatawag na meron ng modified, enhanced movement control order. So bumabalik na po ang unti-unti ang pagbubukas ng mga establishment. Kumbaga, almost back to normal. Except na yung mga new normal na sinasabi natin po, patuloy yung pagtupad sa mga precautionary measures, tulad ng social distancing, yung social discipline and responsibility, dapat hindi lang kalimutan po. So, tinutulungan din natin po ang mga employers, agencies at ang mga workers para doon sa repatriation, ang pagpapauwi nila sa Pilipinas. So far, ang ating embahada po ay meron na silang special o chartered flight last April 28, and then meron ding sinundan po ng sa AirAsia na special flight din po last May 30. So tumutulong ang embassy, lalong-lalo ng embahada. Nagtutulungan po ang Polo OWA para hapsay or smooth yung pagpapauwi po. So, hindi nagkulang ang ating embahada po, ang Pulo-Owa sa pagbibigay din ng mga information, advisories para guided sila po sa loob ng MCO po. So, more or less, maganda ang sitwasyon dito po kasi walang kahit isang Filipino na COVID positive. At saka yes po. And libre din ang hospitalization in case infected ang isang individual. Hindi pinipili kung anong lahi po. So napakaganda ng very robust ang ginawang initiative or precautionary measures ang Malaysian government po. So to think na 2% lang ang only 115 lang out of 7,819 cases, only 115 ang death incidents. So yeah, only 2%. And then yung recovery nila, napakaganda, 81%. Wow. So, malaking bagay na ito po. At saka, natutuwa talaga, I'm so happy, no, na walang kahit isang Filipino na infected with COVID.
Maganda po pala ang kalagayan ng ating mga Pilipino dyan. At mahalaga po sa lahat, walang nagka-COVID o nag-positive man lang sa COVID. Sabi niyo po, 81% ang recoveries po.
Recovery rate, yes po. So, out of 7,819 naka-recovered is, as of yesterday, ito po, 6,353. So, at ang death incidence is only 115. So, malaking bagay po ito po. So, maganda talaga. Stricto din sila po ang Malaysian government sa pagpapatupad. They don't hesitate to detain anybody na mahuli nila na maglabag sa curfew hour. At bigil din sa kanila yung mga social distancing, yung paggamit ng face mask, at saka halos lahat ng mga establishments kung pumupunta ka ay napakalinis, and then merong sinusupply na mga alcohol, at saka napakaganda talaga po. So, bihil din ng ating mga Filipinos dahil biro mo, walang compared to other countries, may mga namamatay. So, dito po. So, naalaala ko po, correction din pala po, may isang, may isa lang na reported to us pala, pero hindi siya documented worker. So, that's why wala kaming nabigay na ayuda. Actually, ang OWA, meron sana tayong financial assistance sa mga COVID positive. So, wala tayong nabigyan po. Napakaganda po. Ready ang ating pamahalaan, ang ating gobyerno. Pero sa awa ng Panginoon, wala tayong nabigyan kahit isa po. Linawin ko lang. Pero may isang noon, pero madali lang siya po sa hospital. Siguro mga 1 week lang po. Isang regular worker na
gumaling.
Wala naman. Hindi naman din serious ang karamdaman niya po. Baka minor lang po. Baka minor lang na sipon or ubo. Kasi madali lang siya nakalabas po sa hospital. And then, isa lang po yun.
Paano naman po yung, paano po yung, ano pong assistance ang binigay ng gobyerno naman natin sa mga nawalan po ng trabaho during po ng pandemic?
Actually po, generally po, kung documented lang po ang worker, ang mga employers patuloy ang pagbigay ng mga salaries nila po. Free accommodation, free food, at may mga allowances sila binigay. Siguro yung iba, kung uuwi na talaga, saka pa binigay yung mga salaries nila po. Kasi while under MCO period, everything is provided. So, kinikip muna ng employers ang mga salaries nila. So, majority ng ating mga workers dito po ay mga kasambahay. So, more or less, majority hindi talaga affected po. Pero yung mga nasa service sector, more or less, provided din po sila dahil ang Malaysian government, hindi sila kumulang nagbigay sila, buo sila ng malaking subsidies para sa mga establishments para patuloy ang pagbigay nila ng let's say salaries, accommodation and the food allowance during sa tinatawag natin na MCO po. So, napangalagaan talaga ang ano nila, pangangailangan. Meron lang talaga ang medyo nabahala lang din kami, yung mga tinatawag natin na freelancer at saka mga undocumented. Pero but then binibigyan, nagdi-distribute, it's not only the government, itong mga Federation of Filipino Associations in Malaysia, sila ang nagdi-distribute din po sila. At marami pang mga associations, maraming mga organizations ng mga Filipinos dito po na nagbibigay. Grabe talaga, and I'm so touched and I'm so thankful sa kabayanihan na yung mga niron, yung mga blessed na mga Filipinos ay hindi sila nag-atubili pag-share what they have. So that's why nagtutulungan talaga po. In fact, before kami po nagbigay ng assistance from the government talaga, ano na ang ating embahada na from our own pocket muna while waiting for the funds. So nag-ano kami po, nagbibigay ng food assistance from our own pocket bago pa man in support doon sa mga associations, mga grupo po. So marami ang nakakatanggap kahit hindi na namin tinatanong sila kung documented ba kayo or not. Oo, basta may binibigay natin. Binibigyan, hinahatid talaga door to door. Yung iba, ginamit nila Grab.
Wow.
No? Transportation. So on our part, nag-ano din kami talaga, door to door.
Opo.
So yun ang ginawa natin po. Pero hindi lang ang gobyerno po. Ang dami nag-initiate na pagpalagay natin po mga private, itong mga initiative ng ating mga OFW groups and associations dito. Ang dami nila po. So thank you so much. Hindi man namin sila mapasalamatan lahat, pero alam namin po na marami sila po. So diyan natin nakita ang kabayanihan, spirit natin hindi lang nasa Pilipinas, kahit nakikita ko yon sa ang bansa man ako na-assign po. So nandoon, lalo na dito sa Malaysia, and then lalo na nitong panahon na ito po, grabe talaga ang ano nila, paggalinga. So, I'm so touched and I'm so proud sa mga kababayan natin dito po. Nagtutulungan talaga po, gobyerno at ang Filipino communities.
Kanina po na-mention niyo po yung nag-providing po kayo ng counseling services. Ano po ang mga naging problema po na ating kababayan at sa mga umattend po o nangailangan ng counseling services po?
During sa MCO, marami talaga nagkukumahog na umuwi. So, kina-counseling natin sila kasi meron na mga nila na nasa mental hospital. So, nakalabas naman po sila. So, tinutulungan natin sila, maintindihan po. Gustuhin man ng mga employers, gustuhin man din namin, tulungan sila po. Kasi very understanding din ang mga employers dito at saka mga agencies. Kasi nasa batas din, maganda din ang labor laws dito po sa Malaysia. Kung gusto ng isang worker na umuwi, din fine. Sige po, pag-usapan ng agency, pag-usapan ng employer, tingnan natin kung justifiable ang pag-uwi niya o kung personal reason, siguro may kunting ano lang, pag-usapan kunti, no? Ticket, sige, shoulder po. So tinutulungan natin sila na maintindihan bakit hindi pa pwede sila makauwi po. Because until now, since March 18, no, doon nag-umpisa ang MCO. Until now, there is no commercial flight yet, domestic and international. So, no commercial flights. Yun ang dapat lalahanin nila. At saka may mga exit documents na kailangan po. Except lang sa mga professionals, itong mga highly skilled na mga workers, pag may ticket lang sila, sana, at saka may available flights, they can leave. But itong mga majority ng mga workers natin po, kailangan ng exit documents galing sa Malaysian Immigration Office bago sila makakauwi. So they are not really that free. So, ang dami talagang dahilan bakit hindi sila makauwi po. Unang-una, because of the MCO. Number two, may documentary requirements na kailangan po bago sila makauwi. So, lalo na yung mga may sakit, no? We encountered mga medically ill. Buti na lang ang AirAsia, nagkaroon sila ng special flight last May 30 at saka last, April 28. Maganda ng gawa ng ating gobyerno po. Ang embahada, nag-arrange sila ng special flight for stranded Filipinos. So, malaking bagay din yun po.
Opo. Meron po
So,
bang susunod na repatriation na gagawin po from Malaysia?
As of now, wala pang ano po. As of now, wala pang pronouncement. I'm very sure may ginagawang hakbang ang ating embahada pero wala pang advisory po. But nag-prepare na po kami in case kung meron man. So, inaalam na natin at piniprepare na natin ano man yung mga we give advices saka guidance doon sa mga nag-signify na gustong umuwi kung ano-ano dapat ang mga dokumento na i-ready nila po. So, nagbigay na tayo ng mga guidance. In case matutuloy man or kung meron po, madali na lang. So, we are nagre-ready na po tayo. Sakasakali po, meron mang pangalawang special or chartered flights sponsored by the Philippine government, arranged by the Philippine Embassy dito sa Kuala Lumpur po.
Okay, so meron po ba kayong recently the government recommended that OFWs get their COVID-19 testing from the country of origin. Ano po? Kaya pinapatest din po ba ang ating mga Pilipino po dyan? May testing po bang ginagawa?
What do you mean? Pagpabalik dito po? Kasi as of now, wala pang...
Hindi.
Wala pang...
Opo. Pero yung mga Pilipino po natin dyan, required po ba?
Upon arrival, yun ang nakita natin na mandatory po.
Okay.
So lahat ng mga returning Filipinos from abroad, pagdating talaga nila sa NAIA,
Opo.
so magkaroon ng immediate
COVID
COVID testing.
Yes po.
So mag-antay lang sila in 5 days. So sa result, and then hindi kagaya noon na 14 days. So ngayon, outright may COVID testing na magaganap. And then after that, kung ano man, kung positive, okay. Siguro diretso sa hospital. And then pag negative, maybe they will be allowed to go back to the respective provinces po.
Meron po ba kayong mensahe sa mga Pilipino o sa mga nanonood po sa inyo ngayon, Madam?
Sa ngayon po, in place pa, hindi pa na-lift ang MCO, Modified Enhanced Movement Control Order dito sa Malaysia. So patuloy muna tayo mag-observe ng mga precautionary measures at habaan muna nila ang kanilang mga pasensya. Malapit na ang lifting ng modified MCO. So, tiis-tiis muna kunti.
Ayan, maganda naman po pala ang kalagayan ng ating mga kababayan dyan at maraming salamat po, Madam, dahil naalagaan niyo po ang ating Filipino community. Thank you so much po. Huwag kayong magsasawa at maraming salamat po. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you din po at nandito lang din po kami.
Ayan. Maraming salamat. All right. Okay, now we go to the U.S. The authorities there imposed curfews in most major U.S. cities to prevent fresh rioting after anti-racism protesters again took to the streets to voice their fury at police brutality. Now, this followed the killing, as we all know, of George Floyd after a white officer pressed a knee into his neck while taking him into custody in Minnesota. Now, to tell us more about this, Don Orozco joins us live. Hello, Don.
Good afternoon, Alma. And I am actually confused right now because there's too many things happening here in the United States. Ano? Of course, we are actually in the period of pandemic still with COVID-19. But then now we are being faced with so much rallies, riots in practically the whole major cities in the United States, from the East Coast to the West Coast. But before I dwell into any of those, let me report a little bit about COVID-19. Ano? Currently, as everyone knows, there's already 6 million tested positive dito sa COVID. And then 1.7 of which is coming from the US. 367,000 have already died, and 103 of that, more than 103 of that, is from the US, which means it's playing around 1/3 of the total death numbers. And right now, total number of unemployed here in the United States has soared into 40 million. So those are the numbers that is actually affected by this coronavirus pandemic. Now, that's how it is when it comes to COVID-19, Alma.
So, Don, what happened? Okay, sige, go ahead. Go ahead po.
Well, transitioning into what is going on.
Yes.
The people around the world have already known about the death of George Floyd, who was actually being arrested, and it is already in the internet, wherein there is actually around 9 minutes that he is being arrested, and showing that the cop was actually kneeling on his neck, and then he was saying, "I cannot breathe." So those are the things that actually triggered this supposedly peaceful protest. Now, this peaceful protest has already transformed into looting from practically all over the United States. I was showing earlier maps of Minnesota and part of California. I am just trying to show which cities are being affected by all of this looting. And it is very sad to see that, looting, anarchy in the streets, arson, and vandalism has prevailed all over the United States. That is why even in most cities here in the United States, let us cite, for instance, Los Angeles, Santa Monica, and then there's Long Beach, and then there's Oakland. Even here in our own city, San Jose, they already declared curfew just to prevent looters from really damaging and destroying the community. So a lot of them have imposed martial law right now. And even in the White House, in Washington, there was martial law, but it is at 11 o'clock. It starts at 11 p.m. But, because of the difference in time, 11 o'clock in White House, in Washington, is 8 o'clock p.m. here. So there's a 3-hour difference. And again, it is very horrible to see what's going on around the United States, specifically those communities that actually have been most affected, including Minnesota. And that's the latest, Tito, Alma.
So paano
And
yan, Don? With the COVID-19 still not, we still haven't solved that. And people are out in the streets protesting and having this chaos all over the U.S. Paano na lang yan? And with one of the country with one of the most COVID cases in the world. So medyo double jeopardy ito, ano?
Tama ka, Alma. And as a matter of fact, they are thinking that this will actually spike up more because we had just had a Memorial Day weekend last weekend. And because it is really hot here in the US right now, but again, it's not as hot as it is in the Philippines.
Yes.
Pero it is really hot, so a lot of people, a lot of folks actually went to the beach and went to the pool. So the social distancing was never observed. And then, pumasok ngayon itong death and rallies nitong si George Floyd. And there's really no regard to social distancing. That is why a lot of health experts here in the United States, from the East Coast to the West Coast, are expecting a spike in cases of coronavirus.
That is so sad. Okay, so thank you, Don, and we'll wait for more updates from the U.S. regarding this and COVID-19. Thank you so much for your report.
And by the way, Alma, before I go, no, the National Guard has already been tapped to help. Kasi ang mga police officers from all over the U.S. is now overwhelmed. And it's been like 30 years ago since we last called the services of the National Guard to maintain peace and order here. And again, really, it's too much anarchy in the streets.
So why are they arresting some journalists like CNN reported, but then he was let go after a while?
Well, again, it's really something. Actually, the government officials were actually disgusted and was disappointed on the arrest. But then you cannot actually blame the police officers, because if you are out in the streets and it's already curfew, they will have to actually really try to arrest you. And right now, it's just that it did not make it. But I was showing a video earlier. There is a reporter also from CNN that is being harassed by the protesters. He was being egged on to go to the front of the line. But you know how it is with us, media. We just want to be going around and see for ourselves what's going on around our area. And basically, that's what's going on right now here in the whole of the U.S. And hopefully, this will end with the presence of the National Guard. Again, reporting live here in Silicon Valley, this is Don Orozco. And again, please let us follow social distancing, stay safe as we live in interesting times.
Thank you, Don. Now, Phuket reopened its doors to visitors on Monday, coinciding with the start of the phase 3 of the easing of emergency decree restrictions there in Thailand. Joining us live from Phuket is Ian Celada. Hello, Ian.
Hi, Alma, and to all our viewers.
Hello. You have a nice view.
Yes, so Alma, I'm here at Chalong Pier, where vessels depart to islands nearby for diving and snorkeling trips.
Very
so,
nice.
Alma, here are the latest updates in Phuket. Thailand's popular resort island of Phuket has now reopened to outsiders starting Monday today. This is to coincide with the third phase of the easing of lockdown restrictions. Phuket Governor Pakapong said that his administration has sought approval from Civil Aviation Authority of Thailand to reopen Phuket International Airport to domestic flights and will resume maritime services at 24 of the island's piers, which has started on Monday today. Sarasin Bridge, the land of gateway to Phuket Island, has now reopened for access to and from the island. Visitors to Phuket from Bangkok and from provinces where new infections have been reported in past 28 days will be required to enter 14-day home quarantine unless the visitor will remain on Phuket for less than 3 days. The provincial prison will also reopen for visits from start June 8. And meanwhile, Alma, Phuket official reported yesterday the last person in Phuket infected with COVID-19 to be admitted to hospital for medical treatment has been discharged from hospital care. The patient, at last report, was receiving treatment at Bangkok Hospital, Phuket. Phuket Communicable Disease Committee broke the news in its daily COVID-19 report yesterday, which also marked 0 new cases of people infected with the virus. As such, the total number of people in Phuket officially recognized as infected with the virus since the outbreak began still remain 227. Public Relations Department of Thailand in Phuket, or PR Phuket, announced through a post on its official Facebook page yesterday that so far 11,262 have been classified as at risk of contracting COVID-19 since the outbreak began. Of those, 11,035 were found not infected with the virus. PR Phuket also noted 7,227 people have so far been classified as persons under investigation. Report says that only 17 people were receiving hospital care, a decrease of 19 from May 30. All 17 are waiting for the test results to confirm whether or not they are infected. And report also called for cooperation from all people in complying with the health orders to help prevent the spread of the disease. Even though the situation has improved, Alma, health measures were still being enforced to prevent a second wave of infections. Back to you, Alma.
All right. Thank you very much, Ian. I love your background. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alma. Reporting live from Phuket, Thailand. This is Ian Salada. We live in interesting times.
ASEAN in Focus. We'll be right back.
Kahit na maraming kababayan natin ang nasa loob lang ng kanilang tahanan, hindi naman ito naging hadlang upang ipamalas nila ang natatangi nilang galing.
Ano ang nangyari sa'yo?
Sa ating next episode, saksihan ang online audition ng ating mga TNG aspirants. Siyempre, dito lang yan sa pinakamalaking talent competition sa Pilipinas, Tagisan ng Galing.
This program is presented by SMC Infrastructure, building a better world. Sandig sugar-free white coffee, puno ng white coffee taste without the sugar, kaya lower calories. Try mo na Sandig sugar-free white coffee. Sarap ng white coffee, now sugar-free. Vet-approved Nutrichos, the only premium dog food with active boost for optimum energy and prebiotics that help strengthen immunity. Just like Catherine Bernardo, gawing listo ganado ang fur babies niyo. Listo ganado sa Nutrichos. Magnolia Chicken Templados, delicious, ready to cook and freshly marinated daily. Pure Foods Luncheon Meat, pure sarap for every family. Star Chunky Cheese Corned Beef, ang cheesy ng corned beef mo. Walang duda, kids can tell na #1 ang Pure Foods Tender Juicy. Ang tender, ang juicy, ang sarap. Co-presented by Cooper, expert in air conditioning and electromechanical. Also engaged in structural, electrical, fire protection, plumbing, and sanitary services. Cooper, your ultimate MEPS and air conditioning solutions. Unlad Incorporated International, fight against global poverty. New San Jose Builders Incorporated. Canrib Corporation, your ventilation and air conditioning specialist. Vita Herbs Philippines Green Coffee. Masarap, mabango, at healthy pa. Puerto Rico Resort and Convention Center, Cabiao, Nueva Ecija. I love Puerto Rico. In participation with Rain or Shine Elastomeric Waterproofing Paint, Matinco. R Square Variables Incorporated, CompuZell Computer Services, SciShow International Trading Corporation, DN Steel, EMAC UPB Roof Corporation.
Hey, Gretchen Ho here, and I'm a white coffee lover. Creamy kasi, and very yummy. Pero mas masarap kung hindi nakaka-guilty. Check my new discovery, San-Made Sugar-Free White Coffee. Puno ng white coffee taste without the sugar, kaya lower calories. Try mo na! San-Made Sugar-Free White Coffee. Sarap ng white coffee, now sugar-free.
Skyway Stages 1 and 2, the elevated toll road system project, run from a section of the South Luzon Expressway from Alabang to Magallanes, Makati. The Skyway Stage 3 is an elevated expressway connecting the South Luzon Expressway through the existing Skyway Stages 1 and 2 to the North Luzon Expressway via Balintawak. Skyway Stage 4 is an 80-kilometer mixed elevated and at-grade toll road that will connect the existing Skyway system starting from the FTI section all the way to Bulacan.
Listo at ganado ang baby ko sa vet-approved Nutri-Chunks with active boost and prebiotics na pampalisto. Made with real meat, with essential nutrients to help them grow healthy and happy. Listo, ganado sa Nutri-Chunks.
Ikaw lang ang star ng buhay ko. Para sa akin, perfect ka. Ibang klase ang sarap ng corned beef mo. Ang cheesy ng corned beef mo. Pag Star Chunky Cheese Corned Beef, sarap ng corned beef, inangat pa ng real cheese cubes. Kaya perfect ang sarap. Star Chunky Cheese Corned Beef.
And Japan has started its phase 2 of its plan to reopen the economy. Joining us live from Japan is Dennis Lu. Hello, Dennis.
Hello, Alma. Good afternoon to you and to all our televiewers. Today, phase 2 has been implemented by Japan in its coronavirus recovery roadmap. The Tokyo Metropolitan Government has further eased restrictions on businesses as cases of COVID-19 decreases. 5 new cases were confirmed in Japan's capital on Sunday. It was the first time in 6 days that the number of new cases was below 10. The Metropolitan Government plans to relax restrictions in phases at 2-week intervals while evaluating the extent of the infection. It may move to the next step earlier than planned if the number of infections remains low. Officials also plan to issue a Tokyo alert to urge people to exercise vigilance if there is a resurgence in cases. Meanwhile, a recent survey by the Single Parent Support Associations said that nearly 70% of single-parent families have reported or are expecting their income to drop during the coronavirus pandemic. The Osaka-based group is calling for greater financial assistance to be given to such families. In its online survey, which received 1,292 responses from single parents across the nation between May 22nd and 24th, 67.1% said incomes had dropped or were expected to drop compared with last year, while 37.2% reported no change. In its second extraordinary budget approved last week, the government allocated about 140 billion yen in aid for single-parent households. It is also set to hand 50,000 yen to single parents with one child and 30,000 yen for each additional child. But the Single Parent Support Association stressed that requirements should be eased. The cash handout program will only be for families who already received child rearing. allowances designated for low-income, single parents, or those whose income has been severely curtailed by the virus. The amount of the child-rearing allowance varies depending on income and number of children. For instance, a single-parent household with one child can receive 43,160 a month if their income is under 1.6 million yen annually. The survey showed that 70% of those who responded were recipients of the child-rearing allowance, but more than 80% of the total said such support should be provided for all single-parent families. One single mom in her 30s said the eligibility for the monthly child-rearing allowance is quite strict in the first place. So there are single parents who do not qualify but are still suffering. Another recent survey showed most of the 47 prefectures have lifted or will soon lift requests for business closures caused by the coronavirus. Adding to signs, the economy is close to fully rebooting. A total of 45 prefectures had requested business closures during the crisis. The survey by Kyodo News found that 38 had already ended the restrictions or planned to do so by Monday. The other 7, Tokyo, Ibaraki, Saitama, Chiba, Yamanashi, Gifu, and Fukuoka, will keep the requests in place, mainly to focus on music venues, gyms, and other facilities where cluster infections were discovered. Most plan to relax the restrictions in stages. Fukuoka lifted restrictions on Monday except in Kitakyushu, which saw infections surge to a daily record of 26 last week, prompting the mayor to declare Friday that it was in the middle of a second wave. Alma, back to you.
Thank you very much, Dennis, for your updates. We'll see you again later. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Arma. Reporting live from Tokyo, Japan, this is Dennis Lu. We live in interesting times.
Okay, next. Thailand's parliament approved a near $60 billion stimulus package, the kingdom's biggest ever cash injection to revive an economy that has been hammered by the coronavirus. The 1.9 trillion baht or $59.7 billion package would be a much-needed boost for Southeast Asia's second biggest economy, expected to contract by 6 to 7% in 2020. About 17.3 billion of the package will be given as aid to farmers and informal workers, such as street vendors and those employed in massage parlors and bars who have seen their work dry up. The stimulus package will also provide for a fund to stabilize markets and boost purchasing power, as well as $1.4 billion for healthcare readiness, according to the government, without providing further details on how the money would be spent. The ruling coalition, led by Premier Prayut Chan-o-cha's Phalang Pracharat Party, holds a slim majority in the lower house, and members of the opposition largely abstained from voting. Opposition MPs criticized the lack of transparency, however, in how the money will be allocated. I'm afraid that what should be used to stimulate the economy will turn out to be for projects that lead to corruption, according to parliamentarian Pijan Chaupantanapon of the Move Forward Party. He also said instead of using money to benefit the people, it will become a benefit for specific groups. But the Premier, Prayut Chan-o-cha, said there would be a step-by-step screening of how the stimulus package will be doled out. And the virus toll has slowed in recent weeks in Thailand, which on Sunday saw 4 new cases, all imported from overseas. And so far, the kingdom has reported just over 3,000 cases and 57 deaths. But its tourism-reliant economy, choked by the halt in international travel, has taken a battering, and more than 20 million have already registered for a government cash handout of 5,000 baht. The kingdom's economy was struggling even before the pandemic, which laid bare deep cleavages of inequality between the haves and have-nots of Thai society. Many in politically turbulent Thailand are unhappy with the ex-generals who seized power 6 years ago and still run the government. Meanwhile, Malacanang is urging the public to cooperate with the government authorities by following quarantine protocols as part of the country, including Metro Manila, transition to more relaxed community quarantines on Monday, June 1. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said that since there is still no cure or vaccine for the coronavirus disease, the public, especially those who physically report for work, should observe minimum public health standards that apply to workplaces, employers, and workers. Mr. Roque pointed out that the government cannot fight COVID-19 alone. It needs the concerted effort of everyone. He also said as more sectors and industries begin to operate, he said let's continue cooperating with authorities in enforcing quarantine protocols. And he said this in a statement last Sunday. He lauded, however, the sacrifices of Filipinos in more than 2 months and enjoined them to keep practicing quarantine guidelines, particularly physical distancing and wearing of face masks. The sacrifices of our people in the past 70 or so days are laudable, he said, and we must not put these to naught. It may be difficult for some, especially those who will physically report, but he said we live in extraordinary times and situation. He also reminded the public to practice precautionary measures to minimize the risk of catching and spreading the deadly virus. Meanwhile, presidential spokesperson Harry Roque discussed the areas under GCQ and MGCQ. Let's listen in.
Uulitin ko lang po yung mga lugar na nasa GCQ at MGCQ. Kasama na po yung mga syudad na naaktuhan na po ang kanilang mga apela. So ang mga lugar pong ito ay nasa ilalim ng General Community Quarantine mula 1 ng Hunyo hanggang 15 ng Hunyo. Ang probinsya ng Pangasinan, ang buong Region 2, ang buong Region 3, ang Region 4A, ang National Capital Region, kasama po ang Municipality of Pateros. Next slide. Sa Region 7 po, nasa ilalim po ng GCQ sa Visayan, ang Region 7. Nasa GCQ naman po sa Mindanao, ang Zamboanga City at ang Davao City. Lilinawin ko po, ang Cebu at ang Mandawi City po ay nasa GCQ na rin. So, uulitin ko po, ang mga lugar na nasa GCQ, Pangasinan, Region 2, Region 3, Region 4A, NCR ng Municipality of Pateros, Region 7, Zamboanga City, Davao City, at saka ang syudad ng Cebu at ang Mandawi. Ang lahat po ng mga lugar na iba pang lugar sa Pilipinas na hindi ko nabanggit, lahat po kayo ay nasa modified GCQ. Ano ba po ibig sabihin ng GCQ? Ang GCQ po ay yung mga pagpapatupad ng mga temporary measures, kasama na po yung paglilimita sa galaw at transportasyon, yung pagre-regulate po ng ilang mga industriya, at saka yung presensya po ng ating kapulisan para ipatupad ang community quarantine protocols. Ang MCGC naman po, ito po yung transition between GCQ at yung tinatawag nating new normal. Ang mangyayari po dyan, magiging mas relax po ang ating mga limitasyon sa paggalaw at transportasyon at yung mga pagbukas po ng ating mga industriya. Bagamat meron pa rin pong presensya ng ating kapulisan para mag-enforce pa rin ang community protocols.
And finally, in our news, a 100-year-old Indonesian woman has recovered from the coronavirus, making her the country's oldest survivor of the respiratory illness. Take a look. Kamtim, who like many Indonesians goes by one name, was discharged from hospital this week after a month of treatment in her hometown Surabaya, Indonesia's second biggest city according to officials. East Java Governor Kofifa Indar Parawansa said she hoped Kamtim's story would give a boost to at-risk residents. The illness is especially dangerous for older people and those with chronic conditions. Born in 1920, Kamtim was taken to hospital last month after showing symptoms, and she was later confirmed to have contracted the virus. Siti Amina, the woman's daughter-in-law, chalked up her recovery to discipline and persistence. It wasn't clear how the homebound woman contracted the virus. Indonesia's coronavirus cases in its latest numbers is 26,473. Deaths is at 1,613. Recovered cases, 7,308. And that is the latest news in and around the Southeast Asian region. Thank you for joining us. I'm Alma Angeles, and we live in interesting times.